change refers to changes in Earth's long-term weather patterns. But where did the term climate change actually come from? Discovery of carbon dioxide in 1640 by a Flemish alchemist died. Then, about 120 years later, the Industrial Revolution began in 1760. Huge pushes for industrialization caused massive amounts of smoke, waste, and other pollutants. We actually thought that climate change was a good thing, specifically global. Between the 1940s to the 1990s, climate science looked increasingly more and more bleak as we slowly started to link phenomena like ocean acidification and increased temperature anomalies to industrialization. Relative to the Industrial Revolution, the position of climate scientists right now are actually quite recent. Did we actually cause climate change? To actually answer this question, greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide trap and retain solar energy in the atmosphere. The amount of energy that the Earth absorbs from the sun compared to the amount of energy it reflects back is always in a fine balance. The more greenhouse gases in the air, like carbon dioxide, the more energy the Earth retains, and therefore the warmer the Earth gets, generally. Before the 20th century, our highest was 300 parts per million, but you can see that we've way exceeded that, and currently, our CO2 emissions exceed 400 parts per million, and you can see that this number is growing nearly exponentially. But why is it so jagged? Earth's tilt, orbit, and wobble all determine how far the Earth is from the sun, and what parts of the Earth get more or less sunlight. For example, Earth's tilt changes between 22.1 degrees to 24.5 degrees. When it's more tilted, the closer the Earth is to the sun, and therefore we have a generally warmer climate. But right now, we're at 23.5 degrees and we're going back to 22.1, which means that we really should be getting a colder climate. And you can see that over time, this graph matches up pretty well with Earth's temperature. Historically, the Milankovitch cycles and Earth's temperature were pretty much in sync, until now. We can see that Earth should be getting cooler, but actually it's slowly getting warmer because of humans. We can see that if we show the start of agriculture and the start of the Industrial Revolution on our lovely graph, we can see that it actually matches up. But in recent years, there hasn't been a volcanic event that has been large enough to cause such a temperature anomaly. For example, one of the largest volcanic eruptions of the 20th century was Mount Pinatubo in 1992. This released 50,000 metric tons of sulfur dioxide. But the thing with sulfur dioxide is it actually blocks the sun, therefore it has a cooling effect, and this cooling effect only really lasted for 3 years. You can't really even see it on the graph unless you really dug into the data. The last time human emissions were equal to or less than volcanic emissions was all the way back in 1871. Nowadays, we emit more than 60 times more carbon dioxide yearly than every single volcano combined. But wait, earlier, why is it different to the one that I'm showing you right now? Well, turns out, in this specific scenario, I didn't realize that over time, we get more accurate timestamps of CO2 data. I just plotted all the data the same and disregarded the year. And that's one of the big problems with climate science, any false conclusions or mistakes in the generation of that statistic or graph. And even though the scientific consensus is so large around climate change, it's easy to see why people are still According to the Center for American Progress, there were 139 elected officials who refused to acknowledge the scientific evidence of human-caused climate change. So with a few friends of mine, we went through all 139 statements and categorized them. The two most common arguments that we saw was that climate science wasn't settled, or climate change is a natural process not caused by human activity. Yeah, you can't really justify that one, especially when the average American salary barely fills any of these boxes.